Now, ever since that American Eagle ad dropped featuring Sydney Sweeney having good genes across all forms of social media and was even all over mainstream media, it still is to this very day, we have a lot of Hollywood celebrities coming forward and expressing their concerns over this advertisement. We know that Joy Behar, Whoopi Goldberg, Sunny Hostin, among others out there, have displayed their criticism about Sydney Sweeney's advertisement with American Eagle, and the number of celebrities, they are growing, they are snowballing, and basically presenting their issues, and one of which now includes Howard Stern, which, by the way, after almost 20 years, or 20 years at this point, his contract deal with SiriusXM may very well be coming to a close by the tail end of 2025. We'll talk more about that. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new, and like this video to see future updates. You can also follow me at Mike01. I thank you also very much for the great and kind support. Now look, we all know that Sydney Sweeney's commercial, her advertisement with American Eagle, it was genius. Not only the play on words was genius, but we all know that this is driving up sales, it's driving up stocks for, of course, American Eagle. We know that their stock is going through the roof. And one thing about all of this is that we know that the woke mob, as they like to call it, right? They are losing their minds over Sydney Sweeney's advertisement. Now, one of which includes Howard Stern, which unfortunately is turning this into a political talking point yet again and displaying his criticism about Sydney Sweeney's ad. Let's get into it. Now, one thing about Howard Stern, I will say, is that he's not the same Howard Stern that he was 20, 30, 35 years ago. There's no question about that. However, with Sydney Sweeney's backlash still growing from the wrong people after her American Eagle ad dropped on social media and on mainstream media, multiple celebrities are continuing to come forward with their thoughts about Sydney Sweeney's ad, one of which now involves, like I said before, Howard Stern, just after developments of his show facing a cancellation. Howard recently delivered the following about Sydney Sweeney. So let me talk about Sydney Sweeney. I think that we all know why people hire this woman, and you know what? I don't blame them, and I don't blame her. I thought she was hot right up until I learned she was a registered Republican. Because you know how attraction works. That way, when you learn something about somebody, or when you learn something of what they did, everything changes. I almost certainly know that she supports Trump now, which just absolutely disgusts me. I think we can all safely say that right now. And look, about the American Eagle ad, yeah, we get it, you're hot, you're attractive, but I think it's getting to her ego. I think it's also bringing in so many desperate men that have nothing better to do with themselves. And look, Sydney, I'm sure, is just raking it in right now from American Eagle, but she has to know she's raking it in from desperate men that can't think for themselves right. So doesn't that make her a bit of an opportunist? I sure think so. I'm honestly disappointed that she's a registered Republican because, with Trump supporters, they are all lunatics, and it's sad to know that she is likely one that falls into that same category of Trump supporters. I think I would have been better off not knowing her side of politics, because now I just find the ad by American Eagle more like an ad for Trump or those that are on the right of politics. So it's sad in that own way and in that own sense, and very lazy, quite honestly. Look, I don't have a problem with hot women, but I do have a problem when they deliberately leak their political status and really taking advantage of what they do, of course, time and time again. And what do the kids call them today? Simps, I think? Yeah, more than likely these are desperate Trump supporters that are loving Sydney Sweeney right now in this advertisement. But no question about it, that American Eagle is, of course, raking it in. And American Eagle is why, I think, of course, why attack those with bad genes? Why are they attacking those with bad genes? I think I have good genes. Can I get an ad with American Eagle? Haha. Now guys, let me just stop there for one moment. I think that Howard Stern is losing his mind after he learned about what SiriusXM is talking about right now. And in case you guys missed it, they are in heavy talks to canceling his radio show. Alright, his, satellite show on SiriusXM. And that's coming to a close more than likely because, well, he's really not as relevant as he was, not even close to what he was, like I said, 25, 30 years ago, even more than that at this point. And it really just makes you question to yourself exactly what's going on with all these celebrities turning the whole Sydney Sweeney advertisement now into a political talking point just because they discovered that she's indeed a registered Republican, which is, yeah, the truth. I mean, that was uncovered. But they're using that as leverage to kind of create this into a political talking point and making it as if American Eagle's ad is a political ad, which is just insane. It's insanity. Moving on, he goes on to allude further. Can I get an ad with American Eagle? But I mean, I just don't see Sydney the same way anymore. I thought she was on our side, and now learning that she is likely siding with Trump and Trump supporters and MAGA and all that nonsense, I just can't even look at the ad anymore. I mean, I had problems with the ad in the beginning, no question about that. I thought it was lazy and just boring. We all knew the meaning of the ad for sure, and there was one thing that I did like about it. That was Sydney. All of course put aside, the ad was just abysmal. But now that she's a registered Republican, this is sounding more like a political ad. It's almost like a gotcha moment, you know? And that's the issue I have with American Eagle right now. Now guys, before I get to the closing part of Howard Stern, one thing about him is that he really does have a very weak argument here. In no way, shape, or form is this a political advertisement. In no way, shape, or form is this, you know, no less an advertisement for Trump or Trump supporters. Makes no sense at all, right? Very weak argument at that. A very pathetic argument by Howard Stern. And look, you guys may have differing opinions about Howard Stern, whether it's the 2025 Howard or Howard from the 80s or the 90s. Whatever your take on Howard is, that's all welcome below in the comments. One thing I will say about Howard, though, is that he's got it completely backwards when it comes to what the intention was about this advertisement. It's a very interesting ad, I will put it at that. Has a good play on words. They're obviously referring to Sydney Sweeney being very attractive with those play on words. And it's not only driving up sales, it's driving up their stock. And people are going to American Eagle in droves. I mean, I don't think that we've ever seen an ad this successful in a very long time. And you have a lot of celebrities out there like Lizzo, you know, talking trash about Sydney Sweeney. You have other celebrities doing the same exact thing. And now Howard Stern. I think it has a lot to do with his bitterness after learning about Sirius XM and their conversations of slashing his show by the end of this year. But moving on, he goes on to close, but I don't know, maybe they will have a commercial with someone that has bad genes to quiet down the noise. Wouldn't that be something? That would be something. So, look, I mean, I don't know if he's trying to be funny toward the tail end of there, because it's not funny at all. But one thing about this whole advertisement is that we know one thing for sure is that there's a lot of thin-skinned celebrities out there that just cannot stand not only the fact that Sydney Sweeney is a registered Republican, but the fact that this commercial, in isolation, is indirectly addressing her attractiveness while also focusing on the genes themselves. Really is, you know, perfection. I mean, it just goes to show you exactly how a lot of these celebrities just lose their minds over the most innocent commercials out there that are very well thought out. I think it's a very creative advertisement. I think it's one of the most creative advertisements that we've seen out there based on the increase in sales and the stock. I mean, the proof is in the pudding there, right? But overall, I would love to hear what everyone has to say about Howard Stern, about his cancellation talks right now happening over at Sirius XM. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys later.